fuck happened?
What's going on, everybody? This is Trendkill Radio, a rock news show about all things rock, except for when it's not. Brought to you by the Foundry Concert Club right here in Cleveland, Ohio. I am your host, Sean Ryan, and with us tonight, we have a very, very special guest for you guys. Oh, my Lord. You know him from Hey Man, Nice Shot, Take a Picture, Can't You Trip Like I Do, Mother E, Thoughts and Prayers. There's so many of them. Ladies and gentlemen, of Filter, Richard Patrick.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hello, thank you for being on. Shit, I'm a little bit in awe right now. Like, I can't believe I'm actually talking to you here.
That's cool. I appreciate that. I'm in awe of you guys too.
Oh yeah, you like the show?
I like the show. I love Cleveland, and I love hanging out with my peeps from Cleveland.
Yes, absolutely. You're from Bay Village, aren't you?
Bay Village, yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're technically in Lakewood. We're on the Cleveland border, so I mean, that was about 20 minutes away. So there was a little correspondence between you and I over this week. There was an episode of our sister show, Trendkill Quickie, and you made a comment on that, and I was surprised to see it. I went, oh shit! Like, I felt like I was kind of like the principal wants to see me, and so we were talking a little bit. I'm like, oh man, I hope they didn't say something bad. And so we were talking.
They were borderline.
What's that?
They were borderline, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They kept calling me Richard. Richard Patrick. Like, what the fuck, man? What's that?
As I'm sure they were just joking. But before we get into that, actually, there's a new song. Well, it's not a new song. Actually, it's a mountain song from Jane's Addiction that you are a part of, along with many great artists, Wes Borland, Burt McCracken, the drummer from In Flames, the guitarist from Mastodon. You got Veruca Salt thrown in there, like everybody. How did that come about? Like, because that's one of my favorite songs from Jane's Addiction.
It's an amazing person by the name of Jason Rockman, who is the orchestrator of the whole idea. He is Kings of Quarantine.
Well, how did that come about, though? I know this is for like the roadie relief effort, and when you listen to the song, there's a link. There's a GoFundMe link. You can find it on YouTube. I think it's like the third track in the search for Mountain Song. He
basically contacted our manager and said, would Richard Patrick be interested in doing it? And it was like, absolutely. I didn't even hesitate because it's for a great cause. And as you know, we can't really play concerts until the pandemic is destroyed. And they came to us and they said, can you sing the other song that we did, which was We Care a Lot by Faith No More. And so I have a mic, and I just they sent me the WAV file, and I booted up my equipment and sang it real quick and then sent it back, and they used, I think, the third verse.
Yeah.
And I'm in with a bunch of other great people. I mean, Run DMC. I mean, there's a lot of amazing people. So every time they ask me, I'm just excited to do it. And Jane's Addiction is one of my favorite bands because when I was 23, I went on tour on the Lollapalooza that broke Nine Inch Nails. Was headlining Jane's Addiction. And like a little starstruck nerd, I just sat there. There was the stage, and then there's the audience, and there's the moat where the security guards are.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like local guys. So I came in every night with a 6-pack of beer and a pack of cigarettes, and I just paid the security guards, like, don't kick me out of here, and please don't let anyone fall on my head. And they're like, great. And I gave them $20 each, and I was just sitting there watching Jane's Addiction every night.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you talked to any of those guys recently? Have they heard the song? Like, has Perry?
Eric Avery had heard it, and he said it brought a smile to his face. He said that on Twitter.
That's awesome, man. I love that. That's really cool. So, I mean, anyone looking to donate and help out the people that make your stuff happen, donate to it. The GoFundMe link is at the bottom of the video. Now, so let's get to the point of why we're actually talking. So there was...
You're not in trouble. No one's in trouble.
I feel like I am. Like, I feel like I'm back in high school. It's been many a year, but man.
It's all good. It's all good.
So like from what I've gathered, what I've read from Loudwire and numerous other sources is that, obviously Nine Inch Nails, they were inducted to the Hall of Fame, and they wanted just Trent, from what I think he has said himself. And then he went, no, 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 like I got to get a couple more people on this to make it all happen. And when that announcement came, you made an Instagram post, correct?
Right. Now I said, this day can suck my dick.
Oh, now what did that mean by that?
Honestly, it didn't really mean anything. I'm very happy for Trent and company for being nominated being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think people were looking for something, and they read that Instagram post as something more than it should have been. I'm all for it. I think it's great. Trent and I get along, and at the time I said, "Hey Trent, what's with this?" And he said, "Hey, that's all they could allow me to have in there." And I was only in the band for 4 years, and I was like, "Okay."
But I think your sound, though, I think that's kind of bullshit, though, because your sound was so influential in the making of Nine Inch Nails sound the way that it did back in the 90s.
Well,
you don't feel slighted by that? Like, because you can definitely tell, you hear, like, you watch the movie The Crow, and I go, oh my God, that's Richard right there.
It's one thing to be in the band in the very beginning and slog it out on the road in vans, and the big jump was Lollapalooza. And we had created this show where I was pretty much the guy that gets beaten up and gets attacked. And I loved it because I was into mosh pits and everything like that and had no problem with it. And, but we built that show. Like it was, Chris, I was happy Chris Brenna was there. He's inducted, and I was happy that, Trent was inducted. I was, sadly, the hard work of Nine Inch Nails was between 1989, 90, 91, 92, 93. That was when shit had to get proven. We had to literally go out and fight for our lives every night on stage. And, some of these other guys joined when, it wasn't vans, it was huge buses and first, class tickets everywhere. And, so I can kid them and I can have fun with them a little bit and kind of poke at them a little bit. Like, yeah, anyone can join Nine Inch Nails when they're fucking huge. Anyone can just walk in and fucking thank you very much. Here's my fancy brand new guitar, blah, 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 but like, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, it was hard as fuck starting off in Nine Inch Nails. It was hard as hell getting those first gigs together and playing all those very first shows, like the very first shows, and that show was cultivated by, the live band at the time. And, then people joined later and kind of continued the tradition. But listen, I quit, I quit Nine Inch Nails, and, I wanted something new, and I had a blast doing it. I loved my time in Nine Inch Nails, but when I did Filter, that was my passion, and that's where I wanted to end up with my life. And Filter gave me everything I ever wanted. So
I know. Yeah, I'm not trying to. I think it's well documented, your history with Nine Inch Nails, and you starting Filter and stuff like that. So I don't want to like just fucking go on and on about that. Like, I'm not trying to like slag you or anything. I love Filter. That's like one of my favorite bands.
Right.
Like when I was getting into starting, like I was just trying to start my first band, Amalgama came out, and I heard like, "Where do we go from here?" It comes on the radio, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" Like your high note when you sing.
And then I went into rehab.
Oh, is that so?
The record came out, and I went to rehab, and we couldn't really promote it because I was getting my shit together.
Oh, well, shit. That sounds like a Scott Weiland story with like Number 4 or something.
Sadly, yeah, it really hurt the band as far as promoting it and everything like that. So
Yeah.
It was both the greatest thing I ever did, but like the worst timing. So,
what was your poison?
oh, booze,
Yeah.
alcoholic.
I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind.
No, I'm fine. No, I've been sober for 18 years, so it's like it's not even a thing. I'm happy people drink and smoke pot and do everything like that. I'm totally okay with it.
You're like straight edge now. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't do any drugs.
No, I don't. Yeah, I can't. I'm sober, like sober. Like I went to rehab. It was a big deal.
Because I'm watching this video for Murica, your latest single.
Right.
You look like a crazy person, like
totally.
Fit to be tied.
That was my caricature of the folks that kind of busted into our Capitol and went fucking crazy at the direction of Lord Trump Vader.
I know you asked me the other day if I was a Trump supporter, and I don't talk about politics myself on the show. But I think we've talked.
But it instantly tells me everything I need to know. Sadly, like it instantly tells me everything I need to know. Like,
what do you mean? What does?
Because if you're a Republican, that's one thing. But if you're a Trump supporter, I'm worried about what information you're obtaining, where it's coming from, the disinformation from not only Trump, but Fox News and just the disinformation campaign.
Fringe websites and shows and stuff like that.
Mainstream media like Fox News, Breitbart, Olean or whatever that network is. They're straight up lying. I mean, there was no fraud. 60 court cases, in the last election. There was absolutely no allegations that proved anything was right, that there was any kind of mass fraud or anything like that when it comes to the election. And people are literally losing their shit over this one fact. And like, I've got like really smart, really incredible smart friends. And I like one or two of them, I'm just like, and you actually believe that there's a problem with the voting system. Like you believe that there's something wrong with it. And it's basically just, it's rumors and innuendo. And even the Supreme Court didn't even acknowledge it. They didn't even.
Yeah, they threw it right out.
They threw it right out. And they were like, so when I ask you like, hey, are you a Trump supporter? It's like, I'm just trying to get a little wrangle on who I'm.
Yeah, I told you there'd be no traps.
There ain't no traps.
Yeah, but, we've done a few stories on Trapped where it's just like you guys are.
Trapped. Oh, Trapped, the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless their hearts. I mean, I hate that I'm a little bit of the left, trapped or whatever. I hate that I kind of have been so political, but the reality is my heroes are Joe Strummer, and John Lennon, and Nivek Ogre, Kevin Ogilvy from Skinny Puppy, Al Jorgensen from Ministry. Those are my heroes. And Bono's way out there. Everything's on his sleeve when it comes to politics, and I feel like there's just way too much to talk about in that world than there is to ignore. And so that's why I've got a whole brand new record called America. And the first two songs that I sent to the internet were America, the song, and then Thoughts and Prayers.
Yeah, Thoughts and Prayers. I know that was your first single, and I was wondering if that's going to be a new album. What the hell happened to Short Bus 2?
Well, I tried to get along and work with Brian Leesgang, and the two of us weren't necessarily about going back to kind of replicate Short Bus. But if you listen to Thoughts and Prayers and everything like that, and especially America was, I mean, I'm playing guitar and everything. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? Like, it's all my guitar playing, and I play guitar a very kind of like right down the middle 16th note kind of crazy approach. And so there could not be anything more closer to short bus than like America. That's so but in theory, I mean, I don't want to go back and go short bus too. That's lame. I'd rather do something that sounds from like it's from the same era, but at the same time is bridging forward and doing something completely new, hopefully.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that too. People rarely put out like a sequel to an album. Like, I know Rob Zombie did Hellbilly Deluxe 2, and it didn't sound anything like Hellbilly Deluxe. I'm like, why did you name it that? And
Right.
And so I was wondering, I'm like, is this going to be like the thing? And you announced that you got back together with Brian and you were working on this stuff, and there's lots of videos and stuff all over the internet you can still find, I'm sure. And then like the info and the videos, they all kind of just dried up, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then I saw you were coming to Cleveland. You were going to play at the Winchester. This is pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And then something happened with scheduling conflicts because you were working on a score.
Exactly.
And so then that whole show fell through, and then the pandemic happened, and I went, well, fuck, we don't get to see anything.
Right. Well, not
thanks, Richard.
Not as of late, but I think what we were going to do on that tour was play title of record start to finish. Ooh. And then play. So that's about, an hour right there, and then play like the rest of our hits right after that as like an encore. And we had a blast. We did one show where it was title of record start to finish, and then we did like Hey Man, Nice Shot and a bunch of other songs. And
Dose.
That led to an idea of possibly doing a live record, possibly doing something that we could record during COVID, like in a studio where we take the fans and just kind of put them in like little cubicles, like little plexiglass cubicles around the studio so they could actually listen to it while we record just every song, like one take, all the way through. And but we decided maybe we should wait and have a real live audience and film it in Los Angeles and film it and record it in Los Angeles and release like a big double LP of live music. But I digress. Rebus was what we were going to call it. Rebus was supposed to be out, but it got kind of caught up in that whole Pledge Music campaign thing that fell apart.
Now, explain what that is.
PledgeMusic.com was a place where I could reach out to my fans and say, hey, if you want to buy a shirt and, we buy a shirt and get a signed copy of the CD, we'll give you exclusive video content of what we're doing in the studio. And to give them that, and it's this, basically they pre-order the record. And
yeah, it's like a Patreon or something.
Yeah, I think we made like $150,000 that was supposed to go to the making of the record. And lo and behold, PledgeMusic.com went bankrupt and took all the money into bankruptcy court.
Get the fuck out of here.
So
why wasn't that a headline?
Everybody was fucked. The band was fucked. Like we were counting on the money coming in, and the fans got fucked. So I literally bought a burner, like a cell phone. Yeah. And I got a paper copy of every single person that pledged. I mean, people were doing like $300 a person for like t-shirts and getting their name in the liner notes and like signed CDs and all this stuff. And they got burned like $300, just gone. So I'm calling every single person and apologizing on behalf of Filter just because I feel so fucking bad about it and I want to sleep better at night.
Well, can't they go into like a small claims court or something like that and then sue the company further and just go, I want my $20 back, you son of a bitch? Like,
they're protected in bankruptcy court.
That's criminal.
It's kind of, yeah.
It really is. That's
it's
really
fucking, it's awful. It's awful. And, I mean, it's It was such a great idea, though. It was, and it worked on Crazy Eyes. So
Oh, is that what
Crazy
you did?
Eyes, yeah, Crazy Eyes was amazing. Crazy Eyes gave us this huge chunk of cash to finish the record and prepare for the tour. We used it for tour preparations and stuff like that.
I saw when you sold out here in Cleveland at the Agora.
Right. When was that?
Would that be
Oh yeah,
2017?
yeah, the theater or whatever, not the theater, the club.
Ballroom. The ballroom.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, the Agora ballroom.
I love the Agora. Absolutely adore the Agora. I love the Grog Shop. I love all. There's do they still have Peabody's Down Under?
No, Peabody's CSU, the college, they bought that out, despite how much money that Peabody's dumped into the city. How many they had so much red tape too, and CSU bought it, demolished it, and turned it into a parking lot.
A parking lot. Wow.
Yep, put up a parking lot.
Well, there was another Peabody's down by the lake.
Yeah, that one. I think that one originally burned down, or was that the Agora that burned down originally? One of those.
No, the Agora burnt down, I think, but the Peabody's Down Under probably. I think it was the technology. I have.
Wait. Here we go. All right, no, you're back now.
We're back.
Okay, so we were just talking about Peabody's. The Agora burned down. Peabody's. There was one down by the lake. Yeah, I don't know if that closed in order to make a bigger venue or something like that. And that's the one that my.
Well, no, they regentrified the lakeshore, and I think everything was just taken out and demolished.
Okay.
Because they were rebuilding it and stuff like that. But Peabody's Down Under was where Trent and I went and saw Skinny Puppy for the first time.
No shit.
Well, Trent had seen him. I was at the age of 19, seeing him for the first time, and I just remember complete and utter, total, just blew my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, the angriest synthesized based music on the planet, no choruses, not any, it's just noise and intensity and ogre blood all over the place.
Yeah, the Fantasy that recently closed down right during the pandemic,
and that's where we used to hang out all the time.
Yeah, I was supposed to get married there.
That was my first gig when I was 17.
Yeah, I was supposed to get married there. They closed it. They sold it. It's going to be a new kind of bar thing. I don't know, but that really fucked us. That wasn't fun. So we had to find a new place.
That was literally one of our first shows ever.
Is that the one? There's the video floating around, or maybe that's Trent's first band or something. I don't know.
Oh, Trent's all over that thing with the Exotic Birds.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
The Exotic Birds. Yeah, he was in the Exotic Birds and I was in the Act, and that's how we met. But we really officially met at this place called Pie Keyboards and Audio, and I was buying gear down there.
Yeah, I was watching recently an interview you had with Loudwire. There was a little bearded kid. It was a Wikipedia fact or fiction. Mm-hmm. He looked terrified. I think I was nervous. When talking to you at the beginning here, that kid. I saw him talk to Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein, and he was just, oh shit, because that's a large man. I don't know if you've ever met Doyle from the Misfits.
Yeah, no, I've never met him, but he is a big person.
He's a big dude, man. I know. I take his protein powder. So wait. There's one thing we kind of got sidetracked. So I mean, are you just to clear it up? Are you still working with Brian?
Brian literally stopped answering my phone calls, and I can't find him.
Well, what happened? Did you guys having differing agreements?
Well, it was a real bummer when the Pledge Music thing went down, and it just fried. It was I don't know. It just short circuited him. He was just screw it, and we're not really talking. And I don't know why.
So what, all the music that you guys were working on, is that going into the new album?
I have it. Mainly Brian, he and I started I was in charge of a lot of the music, and I was sitting there kind of, dicking around with my computer and stuff that I was, working on. And then I would ask him, like, I don't know, I've got to do some lyrics now. And I've written lyrics for myself for so long. And I remembered that he wrote some lyrics on the song Can't You Trip Like I Do.
Mm-hmm.
And the second verse, the one about a billion. So I got the legacy of a billion souls. I got the, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so we were working over FaceTime and I had him FaceTimed on a little iPad, and he sat there and we sat there and would go through the lyrics, and he helped me write the lyrics, and they were amazing. But a lot of the music wasn't really coming from him. There was a few songs where, like, he had written totally brand new songs from the ground up that we were gonna work on. But the majority of stuff that I have is stuff that I created first, and then he helped me with the lyrics.
Okay. So
Yes.
like a lot of this is going, all right, so you have a new album that you're working on still, like finishing up, and it's going to be called America?
Well, Thoughts and Prayers was definitely Brian and I, and so was America. And there's about 4 or 5 more that we were working on. And one song is called Command Z, and it is my absolute favorite Filter song. And it's fantastic. And it's all dreamy and psilocybin, like Take a Picture. And it's called Command Z, and it's amazing. So there's a record company that I'm talking to right now that I'm negotiating with right now, and we're just going to call this thing America. And it's going to have songs that Brian worked on. It's going to have songs that I've written since then. And it's not just a one-trick pony where it's all heavy, super pissed off about Donald Trump. It's not that. There's a ton of optimism. There's a ton of happiness, and just green pastures on the second half of the record.
Like, could you compare it to like your Watch the Sun Come Out Tonight? Or what the fuck was the name of the album?
The Sun Comes Out Tonight?
Yeah. Is it something like that? Because there's some lighter songs on there.
Yeah, Surprise. Well, every Filter record has the what I call the bipolar, like super pissed off in the beginning and then like mellow towards the end and halfway through point. And it's going to follow that tradition.
Yeah, Crazy Eyes was a very heavy album, though. I was surprised to hear how heavy that actually was. I loved it.
But there's still this kind of optimism when you get to Pride Flag and you get to like a lot of the other stuff,
City of Blinding Riots is my
which
favorite.
was produced by Danny Lohner.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's a great song.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, so you were sending me a lot of these videos, these Moog sessions that you're doing.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Moog is like an original, like kind of analog synthesizer. It looks like a slot machine or something like that with a ton of knobs on it. Liam Howlett from Prodigy, he uses a ton of the Moog stuff. Deadmau5 has a whole goddamn warehouse full of Moog equipment. So are these just for fun, or are these going to be included on the new album?
Well, I've been trying to like when I sit there and I look at my YouTube channel, it has, a bunch of videos from 20 years ago and that's it. And for me, I'm like, I want to make music that isn't necessarily just a rock band type approach. And I'm into ambient, I'm into EDM, I'm into, electronic, I'm into quiet acoustic stuff. I'm into all sorts of different kinds of music. And for me, I can just upload, a quick video of me messing around on my Moog and rolling stuff. And it's super easy. It's super fun. And it keeps me, in constant contact with my audience. Cause that's part of the new world is you don't have to have a record company for everything. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a marketing department for everything. And, I have constant, I have a bunch of followers that are thirsty for content, and I'm absolutely like, there's tons of stuff going on in my head, and I'd rather give you free music or give you music you can listen to on YouTube than just be waiting for a rock record every year or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you make any money off of those? Like, let's just say these Moog sessions or anything like that. Does it
I don't
YouTube
think
actually? Because they're certainly advertising. They're
yeah.
making money off you.
Well, Take a Picture has 15 million views.
Wow.
And Hey Man, Nice Shot has like 14 million views or something. So I'm definitely making money. But so much of my life is now like I look at it. It's not just the band that I make money from. It's not just playing live. It's not just a lot of my money comes from doing movie scores, and that's where the real bread and butter kind of comes in. And so Filter has become like this amazing sound soapbox for me to just get up and just say whatever I want to say on it and scream and yell and be political and be crazy, because my responsibility comes in for the movie scores.
Yeah, there was a note I'm looking for. It was your last score you were doing. It said that you worked with your brother on the score.
Oh, no. The last score I did was for this movie called The Second. And It stars Ryan Phillippe, and it's the number 10 action film of 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
And you got a new one you're working on with John Malkovich.
Yeah, John Malkovich. It's called The Chariot.
Now, what kind of movie is this going to be? Because he's been known for just doing kind of like weird. He just does weird shit. He's weird. You ever see his like Saturday Night Live opening monologue where he's
where he's got the baseball?
No, the Nightmare Before Christmas, or the Night Before Christmas. He's telling all the kids.
True or false? During the holiday season, the suicide rate increases significantly. Right? Well, you get back to me on that.
Yeah, he's I have been a John Malkovich fan since his play at the Steppenwolf called True West. That was written by Sam Shepard. Him and Gary Sinise did it at the Steppenwolf, and that kind of made the Steppenwolf in Chicago, the theater in Chicago.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar. I'm like, wait, the band? What?
Yeah, the Steppenwolf is a theater for plays, and it was created by him and Gary Sinise. They kind of built it. And I saw that play on video from PBS. They had shot it for PBS, and it was amazing. And I didn't really understand that acting could be so just avant-garde and crazy, and it's written in the script that he's supposed to kick, like do all this crazy stuff. And I thought it was improvised, but it turns out it's all in the script. And so I just became a huge fan of Malkovich from that point on. I think it was like 16 when I saw that. And so when the producers told me that John Malkovich had signed on to play one of the main characters, I was like, absolutely. So I was totally in.
How do you get that? Do you have like an agent?
I have an agent that looks around for stuff, and people come to me because of the work I've done for the past 20 years. I've had a number of songs on soundtracks that went platinum, whether it's Duracetol, Can't You Trip Like I Do, stuff like that.
Yeah, The Crow 2 with Duracetol.
Duracetol, exactly.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
And so we've been doing work with One Is the Loneliest Number.
It was that the Stepfather?
The covers of One Is the Loneliest Number, and then the other one for the Stepfather was I can't remember it. Imagining you, I do. I think about you. Yeah, it is. It's
so Happy Together. Is that
Happy Together? That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Happy Together was for the Stepfather thing, and then they used it for the Great Gatsby, and it went nuts, and it became a hit all over.
Oh, that was on Leo's movie?
Yeah.
No shit. Yeah. That's a good movie. That was wild, man.
I love that movie. Yeah.
How could you not like Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, he's the shit.
Like the guy just lives like the best life all the time.
He's quiet. The only thing he says is about like climate change. The only time you ever hear him talk is about climate change, and the rest is like his proof and his whole work, all of his work, whether it's Aviator to Romeo and Juliet. What was the last one? The Revenant.
Yeah, that's the one where he snatched the Oscar for that one.
That's the one where he won the Oscar finally. The Departed. It was a lot of great shit.
So, all right, 2020 was obviously a miserable year. What have you been doing to keep your sanity? Like, I mean, I know, like, are you in LA?
Yep.
Okay, so everything is shut
I'm
down.
from an undisclosed bunker in Los Angeles.
I would
Everything
not
is
put it
shut
past you.
I have been lucky as hell because I have my studios in like a commercial space, an industrial commercial space near where I live. So I don't see anybody in here. I've been kind of a little crazy because I've had a director come in here every once in a while to see what I'm doing for the scores, but that's about the only visitors I get. And then I have my kids and my wife, and we're just a self-contained little unit. We don't really see anybody or do anything. So I've been very blessed because I don't want to catch COVID.
Neither do I. I know we've been pretty well held up in here. I mean, we're back to work and all that kind of stuff. I'm a dental technician by day.
My doctor, I don't want to say it, but my doctor had COVID when he was working on me.
Your
he didn't know it. My dentist. He was asymptomatic, and he was carrying COVID. And
well, how'd you find out?
They called me and said, "By the way, you might have COVID." But the only reason I didn't have it is because he literally wore 2 masks and had gloves. So he was asymptomatic working. I had my mouth open for an hour and a half getting my teeth worked on.
What'd you get done? Just the cleaning?
I got them all capped.
Oh, shit. That sucks, man. That's no fun.
Yeah. My bite was getting really wonky because they were getting worn down. So he just recommended that I get them all capped. And I'm like, okay, what are you going to do?
Yeah. So now that we do see a light at the end of the tunnel, do you have any preliminary plans for 2021? Like, I mean, have you received the vaccine?
We've got one show coming up in Alaska, and then we're going to have more shows as soon as they book it. But I want to release a new record, America.
Yeah.
I want to sign a whole bunch and do the promotion for that. And then I want to work on a live record and put that out. And if there's shows, so be it. I mean, I know we're going to have to do at least one show.
When's that one going to be in Alaska?
It's July sometime.
Oh, yeah, that shouldn't be too bad then. I think things.
I want to do one, and I want to do one in the fall or maybe the late summer at this place called I can't remember. We just played there a couple of years ago. It was amazing, and all we have to do is get a camera crew in there, and we can record the whole thing live. So I want to do a live record /DVD or whatever performance.
And I know it's hard to put out an album when you can't tour off of it too. Like that's one of the lamest things that I've seen. I thank God there were a lot of musicians that did put out some really solid albums over 2020, even knowing that they couldn't tour off of it, like Code Orange and the Deftones and Power Man 5000 and Manson, like God bless them that they were able to do that, knowing that like, hey, we can't fucking even promote this properly, that I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
Well, it's about getting content to your fans and just making sure that you're always, because that really is it. It's really just getting it to the fans as soon as you can and staying in their minds. That's how you continue in this business.
Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm just.
But I would love to tour. I think it's awesome. I have a blast doing it. And I would love to do like a title of record tour / short bus or most of short bus, most of title of record. There's all kinds of different ways we could do it.
Yeah, I would love to hear more from The Inevitable Relapse. That album that's honestly my favorite album that you guys have.
That was called The Trouble with Angels.
Trouble with Angels. I knew that.
Yeah.
That just sounded so bad. I'm like, oh, that's my favorite album, but I don't fucking know the name of
I don't remember.
it.
Yeah, sadly, you're not alone.
All right. So last and final question. What, and I know this is a silly one, but I ask it for anybody that I interview. What's your favorite pizza and from where?
Shit.
Everybody loves pizza. Come on, man.
Yeah, no,
so
my favorite. I like I can't pronounce it, but it's like prosciutto and arugula.
prosciutto and arugula.
Prosciutto and arugula. It's called like a cal something, and it's from Old Italy, and that's a little restaurant here where I live.
That's your favorite from throughout the whole world, the pizzas you've tried?
Well, I mean, as of late, I mean, probably the best pizza in the world is from Chicago, deep pan. But then there's also New York. New York is amazing. The stone ovens out there.
Oh yeah.
So, but there's great pizza from there's Boston pizza, which literally has tap water flown in
Okay.
from Boston because it's in the water. The tap water, they're like, it's in the water in Boston is why our pizza is so good. So they literally fly jugs of tap water from Boston out to be as one of the ingredients in their sauce.
Out there in LA?
Out there in LA, we do it. We go crazy out here in LA. We'll fly our own old fucking water in. We'll bring the water in from Boston for our pizza.
That's funny. Okay, so man, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I mean,
what are those two girls' names on the other show?
Candy and Libby.
Candy's
my fiance.
Candy and Libby from Cleveland. Candy and Libby. There, I got him.
Yeah, that was like a Family Guy joke, though, when they said Richard Patrick.
I don't know why. I don't know why they were kind of dissing me a little bit.
Oh, I apologize if they did. I mean, I take full responsibility.
Cleveland, and everything is fucking amazing in my world. Everything. I don't have any baggage. I don't have any, dude. 10-step. You take a moral inventory of your life every couple of days, and you go through and you make sure you don't have any resentments and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. No, I love you. I told you. I think there's been quite a bit of reference that I've made that proves that I'm a huge fan of Filter. So,
well, I appreciate you having me. I really do, and I'm glad that I could tell my side of the story a little bit because there's no resentment. I don't have any resentment about.
Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, they were saying that I was pissed or something about it. I don't know what they were saying, but I just wanted to. I can't remember exactly what they had said because it's not awful. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm fine. I've had a great time. Had an amazing time when I was in Nine Inch Nails. When I did Filter, I had a great time. And I'm doing great now. Trent and I are constantly talking via text and, phone and stuff like that. And, we're over it. Then I think everybody else should be over it and just,
Yeah, I know. I think that's just whatever Loudwire kind of like hyped up. And that's what we just get our stories from.
Loudwire's good.
Yeah, I know. They're fantastic. I really love them. That's where we get the majority of our information from. I really,
they do a good job. There's a lot of great magazines. Now you're one of them.
I hope one day. I mean, we have 433 subscribers as of today. Huge numbers through the fucking roof. I mean, I know you can't touch this, Rich.
Hey.
Don't be jealous. Don't be
jealous.
I like
what you do. I like what your show's about. I like what you guys do. I think it's fine.
Yeah, we like to have fun. We just kind of, maybe there's some jabs or something like that, or if a celebrity is being a douchebag,
what did the guy from Bad Wolves do? What did he do? That kind of stuff.
Oh no! He quit the band like abruptly after only being in it for so many years. He wants to do a solo career, and he's a big Trump supporter, and he had a lot of butting heads with his other bandmates, and their label was just like, dude, you can't keep on like, saying this kind of shit like out in public, man. Like you're like, it's not good.
What's
What's that?
What's he saying?
I don't know. It was just endorsing Trump back last year, and then saying in 2020 in July, he said racism isn't real. It's fabricated. It's made up. It doesn't exist in America. He goes, I've been to like 50 countries, and let me tell you that's the race-related issue is bullshit. It's not a thing. And so his label and his bandmates wholeheartedly disagreed and said, like, I don't know, man. And then so he just kind of like up and bounced out, and he's like, I'm just going to do a solo album then.
The misinformation, the incredible, just the misinformation campaign coming from the right.
Well, he's a person of color, which is like the craziest thing about it, though. And he goes, I've never had a racist encounter in my life. I'm like, really?
That doesn't exist, buddy. Because I've been around some racists. I've seen some racist shit in my life.
I know. I think we've gotten a lot better as a country. But it's obviously not gone. Like, I mean, with the entire year of 2020, we've seen, just crazy amounts of it.
Yeah.
and then you see the people storming the Capitol and wearing Nazi shirts and Confederate flags and
fits, and 6 million wasn't enough.
Yeah, things like that. And then I hear, there's someone that we know that was kind of defending those people and going, oh yeah, well, not really defending, but saying, well, we disregard those people. We're against them. But I mean, there was like 1 million of us. How can you pick a person out of a crowd, blah, blah, blah. And he had some really ignorant shit to say. So he's been just someone that we know, no one famous or anything like that. He's a lighting guy. And so he got deleted pretty quick. He got roasted by one of our other friends in like a very, very public roast there. So yeah, no, it obviously does. But I mean, that's just ridiculous to go kind of spouting off nonsense like that. And
it's crazy. We live in a very, very crazy time right now. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay, so you're still pretty young. Yeah, it's gnarly.
I don't feel like it.
It's gnarly. I mean, I remember being alive and my dad grabbed my hand and he shook it because I was like 3. And he said, there he is. He's getting on the plane. That's it. Richard Nixon. Wave goodbye, Richie. Wave goodbye. And I was like, what are you doing with my hand?
Well, did you watch it on TV? I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I watched it on TV. He was getting on the plane. There it is, Rich. He is the president leaving in disgrace, blah, blah, blah.
So are you excited for this next week, or what are your predictions?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, are things going to go off the rail, or do we have enough military and stuff to enforce to make sure that shit's going to be safe?
I think the military is ready for anything, but I honestly don't think there's going to be a lot of people showing up. I think there's going to be a bunch of disgruntled Trump supporters that are still kind of believing the hype. And, all the people arrested are all saying, well, Trump sent me, you know what I mean? And they're now hearing, the facts for the first time as their lawyers kind of walk them through it. But, I would
hate to be in that kind of trouble, man. I hate being in trouble with anybody, let alone the federal government. Like you're going to prison, man. Like all those people that you're hating on, they're not going to like you.
You are definitely going to prison. Absolutely. That's the crazy, sad thing about it.
But yeah, once again, man, thank you so much for being on. Like, I'm a huge fan. Love you, man. Thank you so much.
Well, when I'm back in Cleveland, let's do it. Let's hang out and get 3 or 4 songs from the show recorded and have a little fun and do a little location. Come out to the show and we'll do an interview and we'll hang out. And
I'll buy a ticket, but you got to let me backstage.
No, you'll come as press. I'll get you. I happen to know someone.
While I'm here,
I know a guy, and free. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
What are their names again?
Candy and Libby.
Candy and Libby. They can come too. Got it. Good luck to everybody, and stay safe. And Filter's coming out with a new record, America, and there's all kinds of just goofy stuff going on over at YouTube and Facebook and everything like that. So
yeah, when do you think? I'm sorry to keep on like dragging this on, but when do you think America's coming out?
I'm not sure. I got to ink the deal, and I've got to look at probably about 20 songs and whittle it down to about 12.
Put out all 20. Fuck it.
Yeah, that might be fun, but some of well, see, that's the thing. Some of them are weird. Some are just crazy, weird songs, and I feel like that needs a place, and so that's why I'm kind of dumping them off on YouTube because it's fun.
Okay, that was the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. It got a little messy there towards the end because I forgot to give him his freaking plugs, and then, I introduced him to Candy from Trend Kill Quickie. But first and foremost, please go to Official Filter on all forms of social media, especially YouTube right now. He is very active, and he's putting out stuff quite a bit. Obviously, check him out on Instagram and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Look for the little blue check mark so you know exactly who you're getting, no imposters. And then subscribe to Trend Kill Radio right here for more rock news every single week by either us or Trend Kill Quickie on this same channel, or both. Just hit that little notification. It doesn't cost you anything. We won't bother you, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I'm Sean Ryan, and this is Trend Kill Radio.